Hey everyone, Kelly here. Today I have Caitlin Gentry from CG Music Studio, and Caitlin and I are going to be chatting about how she was able to double her studio revenue and leave her job in less than 3 months, which has been a really exciting journey. Caitlin, I want to just have you quickly introduce yourself and your studio. Tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Yeah, so I teach clarinet and saxophone lessons out of my home in Utah County, and uh, got a lot of fun things happening. We do formal recitals in just like our normal recital setting on a stage with fancy chairs, and then we also do an informal recital in my backyard with my cats running around.
Oh, I love
They're so cute. But it's a really like fun environment. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know your students choose you because of that. You are this
Yes.
wonderful, warm, enthusiastic presence. I know how much your students love
Yeah.
that. So I'm so glad to see the studio thriving. You deserve that. Your students absolutely deserve it. Let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that journey. And I want to start at the very beginning to kind of orient everyone in the timeline. Right now, it's towards the end of April. We
Mhm.
started our work together rather at the beginning of October. And kind of the timeline we're talking about right now is from October to January, is that 3 month
Yeah.
period where we were able to grow the studio, leave the job.
Mhm.
In October, where was the studio? What did things look like and what were some of your frustrations?
Yeah, so I had about 15 students, I think, and I felt like I had the momentum to do more. Like I
Mm,
was getting more students regularly. I started at a lesson studio near me, so I was working for someone else. They were doing all the stuff to get the students, and then I was just showing up for an hourly rate. And when I crunched the numbers, I was like, if I just did this on my own, I could be making so much more.
yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I want to just have my day be filled with music and, not have to go work my full-time job in the morning and then immediately go home and teach for an additional however many hours every night and then occasionally like do gigs past that too. And I was just so tired. I was
Yeah.
so tired. And I just wanted I liked my job and all that stuff, but I was like, I can't keep living in both worlds. I have to just pick one.
Mm.
I'm gonna pick the one that I like more.
Fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
yeah,
I remember that first conversation too. The one of the first things you told me was, "I just want to leave my job," and
yeah,
and it wasn't because it was like a bad job or bad environment or anything like that. It was just I
yeah,
want to be in music. This isn't making
yeah,
me feel fulfilled and happy, and this is the goal. So
yeah.
when you were kind of running the numbers and figuring out what to do, you had students at that point. You had done a lot of work
Hmm.
independently to get your studio started. You were not starting from scratch, right? We definitely
Yeah.
had some plans there. What did you done or what did you tried before we started working together to grow the studio and to start towards that goal?
Yeah, so I was trying to reach out to, band directors about like I'm available, I'm here, like because I went to college in this area,
Hmm.
and so I had friends, colleagues who were now teaching in the area, and so I had people I could reach out to who are running successful band programs who, love to hear from me, but I couldn't because I'm working and all that. I couldn't even go visit the students or I didn't know how to communicate, you know, what I want to get from you, to my friends and colleagues. So I was just kind of struggling as to how does this like exponentially grow? Because that's what I need is just exponential growth
Yeah,
quickly because I
absolutely.
want to be done with this.
And at that time, you had around 15 students. You had built
Hmm.
it up. You
Yeah.
had leveraged some of those
And that's a good
connections.
number too. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great number.
definitely. It was something to be really
Yeah.
proud of. And again, like we weren't starting from scratch. You had a really solid
Yeah.
foundation.
Hmm.
One thing, okay, working in a college town and working around the area that you graduated from, there's also a lot of, I know people would say competition, right? There's a lot of other musicians in that area then. Did you feel at that point in your time that it was, or at that point in your journey rather, that it was influencing or impacting your business at all? Did you feel like that was a hurdle that you had to overcome?
I feel like it was a mental hurdle I had to overcome.
Mm,
Thinking of all these people who I don't necessarily know personally, as my competition, like, oh, well, you're charging less than me. and so everyone's going to go to you, or you live here, and so everyone's going to go to you, instead of just being like, well, just they're my, friends and colleagues now. Like we're in the
Mhm.
same field now. We should work together, and I should know you and not despise you. Not that I despised anyone, but I was just really nervous and anxious, very,
Yeah.
very anxious. Like even just thinking about other people in the area teaching
Yeah.
like my target students.
Mm. This is something I think a lot of people struggle with. We look
Hmm.
around and say, like, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only clarinet teacher, saxophone teacher. There's a finite number of students. What do we do?
Hmm.
And you wanted to teach only in person. We weren't going to look at expanding outside of your area and teaching online. So
Yeah.
I know we're jumping ahead just a little bit, but what are some things that helped you get past that mental hurdle? How did we move on?
Yeah. So a lot of mental work and just like positive thinking, and because they can't affect me, and they have no idea that I'm even thinking of them in that way, or that I'm anxious about them existing, these other teachers in the area. um so realizing that, like, first of all, I can do it and I can charge whatever I want,
Mm-hmm.
and that there are so many students,
Yes.
more than I could possibly take. I don't want
Yeah.
all of them. I you know there is switching the mindset to, like, there's an abundance instead of there's a
Mm.
lack. The abundance has helped so much, and the more that I think of the abundance, the more I see it, and so that has helped so much.
Yeah, it opens your eyes. It's not, sometimes we think about like the abundance mentality and how that it's going to attract those students to you.
Hmm.
There's absolutely something to that, but really what it is it just opens your eyes a little bit to see all the
Yes.
doors that are open around you, right?
Yeah,
You
and it
might
just
do
makes you
things
less
differently.
stressed. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
that
less
stress is
stressed,
a
and so
good
you
one.
can approach things from an open mindset, a healthy mindset, and I can find the students that are best for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we're willing to try things a little bit differently as a result
Hmm.
or take different actions.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we talked about the rates
Hmm.
because there was a lot of competition in the area or perceived competition for you in the area at that
Yeah.
time. We were undercutting the rates. So I know
Hmm.
we had a lot of half an hour students. They were, I think, around $1 a minute, around $30 a
It
half an
was
hour.
it was a little less because it was
Okay,
like it was about $25 for 30
got it.
minutes.
Got it. And then the hour we were giving some discounts, so it was about
Hmm.
$45 an hour, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So even less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what are your rates right now?
So now I charge at least $1 a minute, plus some for all, overhead and recital fees and equipment stuff that or just not equipment, but like music that I supply for them. So I charge 145 for 30 minutes, and I don't offer any discount from there at all. So it's $1 a minute plus like 25 on top every month. And so all the way up to 290 for weekly hour-long lessons. And I have had one time where someone was like, I can't pay that, but it wasn't that they were like, I can't believe you're charging that, which I was
Mm.
totally scared that that was going to happen. I was terrified the first few consultations I did, that someone was going to like chew me out for wanting to charge, quote unquote, so much.
Yeah.
But that has not happened at all.
Isn't it interesting these little narratives that we build up in our head?
Yes.
We tell ourselves all these things like, I couldn't possibly try that, or everyone's going to be upset. And
Yeah.
then in practice, especially when you build up the confidence, right? And that was
Hmm.
something that we worked on is like
Yeah.
practicing that, saying those numbers out loud, making sure you feel really
Yeah.
comfortable and confident. And then everyone just kind of goes along with it. Not that you're taking advantage of them, but they see the value when you present the value, and then they're happy to pay the rate that fits.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
awesome. So in the last now 6 months, the studio has grown exponentially as we had
Yes.
hoped. We've had a lot of great growth. Again, fast growth. The first 3 months, we had massive shift and we were able to leave the job. So, what made that
Hmm.
possible? What was working really well for you in growing your studio?
I developed a really, really good relationship with a band director. It was even just one band director. Um, I was working for a marching band over the fall, and one of the middle schools that kind of feeds into that high school, the directors were communicating, and the high school director that I was working for communicated with the middle school director, and then he called me and was like, I could fill your studio today if you wanted.
Mm.
Which, in words, that's what he thinks. And that's another thing to actually get, kids who want to do lessons and all that stuff. But
Right.
um, just that, building that relationship, and like your advice on how to communicate with those kind of people, and like show that you can offer something to them too, um, as they continue to refer to me, like that helps so much. So just that one relationship, it's like half my studio.
Now, schools that can fill a half a studio are fantastic, but I think when we kind of zoom out on this too, we don't need a ton of these relationships.
No.
And maybe that's a misunderstanding that a lot of teachers have too. We don't need 25 schools referring to us. If we can
Yeah.
have, two, maybe three really strong referral sources, we always kind of say between four and six is an ideal,
Hmm.
healthy place to be, but it doesn't take a ton. When you say relationship, though, it's not just a source for us. It is a relationship. There is a mutual
Hmm.
benefit there. So, what are some things that
Yeah.
helped strengthen that relationship or build it for you guys?
Yeah. So first of all, I made time in my day to go visit his kiddos, and I just showed up and I was like, whatever you want help with. I'm not here
Mm,
to, shill lessons or anything like that. I want to help your clarinet or saxophone section, whichever you want help with today. So you can just send them to me and I'll work one on one. I will work in a group,
mm,
whatever you want. And so just making it very clear to him that I care about your program and how your kids sound, and I want what you want. So let's see if I can help you achieve that. And so I did that, and then it was kind of a random thing I did, but I became a sub for the school district, and I told,
mm,
kind of exclusively, wanted to make him feel exclusive through, like I can come and I can sub for you during the day if you're sick or something. So like that's another way you can fall back on me. So I know not that's not everybody's deal because they don't probably want to
mm,
deal with the whole band, but I love doing that. So um he was very, very gracious for that offer. It's even an offer. But every time I've gone, he's always texted me later and said, like, I can hear a difference. And I'm so glad that you came.
mm.
And I'm so glad, that we're working together now and all that stuff. So putting his, making him feel like I'm putting his like band program first.
Yeah, absolutely. When we say relationship, it has to be a two-way street. We can't
Yeah.
just expect the gift of students and income from these
Yeah.
band directors.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're a stranger over email. When we send a cold email or when we send, call them and they don't
Yeah.
know us,
Hmm.
it is a tall order. Like, hey, send all your kids to me and you know nothing about me and who knows if I'm even safe. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that you've got that relationship, that they can see the quality of your teaching. Obviously, they saw the quality and the rest kind of took care of itself because
Yeah.
the students enjoyed you, the teacher enjoyed you,
Hmm.
and that's what matters most. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the studio, again, I want to clarify, it didn't double in size because we were charging more revenue, because we had kind of
Yeah.
revamped how we were charging tuition, that
Hmm.
monthly flat rate. We were able to double the revenue in less than 3 months
Yeah.
without doubling your hours in teaching.
Yes.
But even
Yeah.
today, it's grown beyond that. So, right
Hmm.
now, what is the status of the studio and revenue and enrollment?
Yeah, so I have 29 students currently. Some of them are still on everyone's on a flat rate now. Some of them are at a lower price because that's what, they kind of started as, and I'm just increasing it over time. And some of them I am, because, I've got money coming in, so I'm able to offer like lower rates to like families with, special circumstances. So I can give a scholarship
Yeah.
rate and work with kids that I've enjoyed working with in the past that maybe not they can't afford that higher rate yet, but we will revisit that in the future once their situation changes. So 29 students and so close to 4,000 a month that I can taste it. Um, just like $70 away. So so yeah. So I'm past 3,900. I'm, between 3,900 and 4,000, because I do have one kid who does a la carte. So, if he did multiple lessons a week, I could hit like 4,000 a month at one time. But just regular steady income as predicted is 3,900. And I still have room to grow because I'm only teaching 15 and a half hours a week. And I want to have a big studio. Like that's what I want. I know some people that may not be, their gig, um, but I enjoy very much working and as much as I can. That's if I, I'm sitting around not doing anything, I don't like how that feels. And so, um, yeah, I'm it's grown pretty large. My evenings are getting full, and I'm super happy with all the work that I'm doing, and I have time during the day now to go and visit those schools if I want, um, or to go. I can sub for a director if I want. I've now built
Yeah,
a relationship with two other directors that I go and sub for, and they don't have to give me a student in return. I'm just happy to go and just keep being a presence in front of their kids.
that's fantastic. And the studio, the growth was so fast that that initial goal of leaving your job, that happened in like 2 months.
Yeah, it
it
happened
was
sooner than I
it was quick.
anticipated. Yeah, I was planning for
Yeah,
January and then December. I left in December. So
that's amazing. That is
yeah.
amazing. When you were looking at that decision, I mean, obviously we had a plan. We looked at some
hmm
numbers. We knew what we needed to do to get there. But at what point did you look at this and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm ready"? How did that feel, and what was that process like?
It felt so good. And I was, emotions. I was very, tense about the
Yeah.
job and stuff, and um, it probably like wasn't as bad as I was thinking in the moment. But I was just so tired of it that I just kept like it was almost like poisoning the water of it. Like I just don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like an angry kind of thing. It was like a sad. I just don't want to be here anymore, and I don't have to. And it was like, I don't have to. I can choose if I
Yeah.
stay and like try to play it safe for a little bit longer, or I can choose to just let's just dive off in the deep end and we'll be fine. It everything if things are continue as they are now and projected forward, I'll be fine. I just have to
Yeah.
believe that I have to believe in the numbers that I've made, and the relationships I've built, and it's
Absolutely.
worked.
Absolutely. And this summer now, as we're looking forward to the next few months, we're doing more to keep growing the
hmm
studio, to offer some other opportunities because you are so passionate about this and you have so
Yeah,
many other ideas floating around in your head. So tell me about what's coming up in the next few months for you and your studio.
yeah. So I was actually nervous that my summer was going to be really like slow. And now I'm
Mm.
like, I kind of want already the summer to be over because I know it's gonna be so busy. So I'm running two separate summer camps for a clarinet exclusive and a saxophone exclusive one. And I have recruited some colleagues, one of my really good friends from my college days. He's gonna help me co-teach with the clarinet studio or the clarinet summer camp, and just like being able to sit and talk with him and not think of him as competition, but actually think of him as like, you are going to help me so much, and I'm going to help you so much.
Mm.
This is going to be great. He's got connections in the industry that I don't have with companies like who make clarinets and equipment and stuff, and so he's going to have them donate a piece of equipment so we can do a giveaway. I'm like, that's so cool that I get to do that.
That is
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so I'm running two camps, and then I have the time and ability. I love marching band. I get to go help with two different marching bands this summer instead of just like the one that I was planning on. So I'm super pumped to be super busy this summer.
That's awesome. Especially because summer can be a stressful time. It can be a
Yeah.
time of attrition and a bit of a down period for so many
Mhm.
studios. But you've built these plans in so that even if we have a couple students that take summer off or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, there is continued growth. It's
Yes.
not stagnant. There's not going to be a dip. We've got plans in place and structure. And
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of your current students are also going to benefit from that programming too,
Yeah.
which is another way to form ongoing relationships with them and to build more rapport and community around the studio,
Yeah.
which is amazing. I'm so
Mhm.
excited for you.
Yeah.
In this journey and everything that you've worked on, what are some things that you feel have made the biggest impact? And some things that, like maybe if you were to share advice with someone that was in a similar situation, they're,
Mhm.
in the earlier stages of their studio and they want that growth, that they maybe want to leave a job, what would you recommend?
Yeah. And this is kind of something I went through recently with my friend who's helping me with the clarinet summer camp. Like he doesn't want to have like a big studio or anything,
Mm-hmm.
like that. He's very happy doing what he does for, promoting clarinets at this other company and stuff. So, but I was telling him my rates and how much I was going to charge for the camp. And he was like, he just gave me a weird look, and I was like, you don't think that I can charge that? He's like, I just feel like, that number might scare some parents off. I'm like, well, it doesn't. I promise you it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can pay my mortgage with those numbers. Like it's fine, I
Yeah.
promise. So like just having the confidence that you don't. have to discount your rate in order to attract people. You don't have to do that. Um, and there are so many more students out there than you could possibly want.
I am so excited for the growth that you've had. It's been an amazing journey, and I know that you've got so much more coming this summer. Kind of a final parting piece of
Hmm.
advice or information for everyone. Obviously, they're at this point in
Yeah,
the interview and they're watching
yeah,
information from you. They're looking to grow a studio and they're looking at our program to help do that. Would you recommend this
yeah,
program? And if
absolutely. I would totally
so, who
recommend
would you
it.
recommend it for?
I'd recommend it to anyone who, even if you don't have like the kind of base that I did, where I had 15 students before I started your program. Um, if you're wanting to, I feel like my interviews will be more geared towards quitting your day job. If you're tired of working for the man, working for corporate, and you're tired of the corporate drama, and you just want to work with the people that you want to work with, and you get to choose that. I get to choose who I work with. I get to choose my students and the families that I work with. Take control if you want to take control of your life, and fill your day with music and teaching, and you're just not sure how to do that. Maybe you have momentum like I did, or maybe you don't. You just don't know what to do, because it's scary. Like, you got to support yourself, and what are you going to do with insurance and all that stuff. Um so anyone who's scared, I guess I would say, because I was really scared. I feel like this program give it helps you find that confidence in yourself. So anyone who, if you're looking for that, because it does take confidence to leave your job and subsist on just this income. It's scary, but it's totally possible, and I feel like this
Yeah.
program is great for anyone who's feeling that you're not quite there yet. You're just kind of, if you're scared of competition from other people, this program can really, really help you. Really, really help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that. I appreciate the glowing review and I appreciate your advice for everyone. I, I know that we were scared in that time 6 months ago, but seeing the confidence
Hmm.
and the creativity that you've had in your studio since has been amazing. I am so grateful to have been a part of that journey and to see this happen for you. It's
Yeah.
truly been outstanding, and I'm so excited for you and so proud of you and all the work that you've done. There's a lot of great things coming. So
Of
thank
course.
you again for your time today, Caitlin. One quick note: if anyone's looking for information online, or if they want to kind of check out your
So
studio,
you can
where
find
can
me.
they
My
find you and
website
get help?
is my name, so CaitlinGentry.com. Just look at the spelling in the video because it's spelled weird. And then I also have an Instagram. It's at performing underscore with underscore style. So performing with style on Instagram, and we post videos of students playing,
I
myself
love it.
playing, or
That's
tips,
awesome.
practice tips, and announcements and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that watched. I hope this was helpful. Caitlin, I really
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best. I'll talk to you soon.